Welcome to the Leading with AI podcast. This is where we dive deep into important topics, pulling out the most valuable insights from a stack of great sources to help you get well-informed, fast.
That's right.
Today we're tackling a really critical question for any organization right now. What does it truly mean to become AI ready?
And for this deep dive, our primary source is a pivotal chapter from the book Intelligent Advantage. It offers quite a comprehensive look at this topic, going beyond the usual technical discussions to explore, the broader organizational shifts required.
The book makes a bold statement right at the beginning that really sets the tone for this deep dive. Readiness is not about infrastructure, it's about alignment. That line grabbed my attention immediately because it challenges the assumption that getting AI ready is just about buying the right servers or, hiring data scientists. It suggests something much more fundamental.
It really does. The book paints this picture of the business world undergoing a massive transformation, unlike anything we've seen in decades.
Right.
Maybe. And AI is right at the center of it. It's not just about automating repetitive tasks anymore, not by a long shot. It's about fundamentally rethinking how businesses operate, how they compete, and how they deliver value to customers.
And the book is quite stark about the consequences, isn't it? It says companies that successfully embed AI into their core strategy, those are the ones that will thrive and shape the future.
Exactly.
Well, those that only give it lip service or, treat it as just another IT project.
Yeah, they risk becoming obsolete relics. Almost.
Wow.
Absolutely. And it warns that the gap between the companies leveraging AI effectively, the AI haves, as it calls them, and those struggling to adopt it, the AI have-nots, that gap is widening rapidly.
Yeah, you can feel that happening.
Which creates a real sense of urgency for leaders to understand what AI readiness actually entails. It's not just hype.
So our mission for this deep dive is to unpack the core dimensions of AI readiness as laid out in the book, and to understand the practical, actionable steps that leaders, particularly at the C-suite level, need to take to ensure their organizations aren't left behind.
Right. Let's get started.
Okay.
So the book frames the move into what it calls the age of intelligent advantage, not as something that just happens to you passively.
No drifting allowed.
Exactly. It's a deliberate journey. It requires intentional action and, crucially, leadership.
That's such a crucial point. It's not enough to just hope AI happens organically within departments somewhere down the line.
No way.
The book stresses that AI adoption demands a fundamental shift, not just in technology, obviously, but in leadership perspective, accountability, and concrete action. This transformation needs to be actively led.
Precisely. The core imperative, according to the book, is that this transformation must be led from the top.
Right, from the C-suite.
The C-suite cannot delegate the AI revolution. It's just not possible. Executive ownership is non-negotiable. It's the C-suite's responsibility to champion AI, guide the transformation, and foster an AI-conscious organization, from the top down.
So it starts with the people at the very top, understanding and embracing AI, not just approving budgets for it.
Yes, exactly. Which leads us nicely to the practical steps the book outlines for getting the C-suite themselves AI ready.
Okay, the how.
It's about shifting from why AI matters, hopefully they get that by now, to how leaders can engage with it effectively.
Right. What do they actually do?
Indeed. The first practical step the book details is a focus on investing in C-suite and board AI education.
Okay.
And this isn't just, sending them to a conference for a day.
No quick fix.
No, it's about structured learning programs specifically designed for non-technical executives and board members.
And the book is clear these aren't deep technical dives into the nitty-gritty of algorithms or coding, right?
Absolutely not. What they should cover, according to the book, is the core AI concepts, things like what machine learning, deep learning, natural language processing, NLP, computer vision, CV, and generative AI, GAI, actually are.
The big categories.
But the key is understanding how they work at a high level, their potential strengths, and just as importantly, their limitations.
Okay.
For instance, understanding that machine learning allows systems to learn from data without being explicitly programmed, or that NLP helps computers understand human language. That level of understanding.
So enough to be able to speak knowledgeably with their teams and ask informed questions, not be snared by jargon.
Exactly. They also need to understand the strategic implications. How is AI transforming their specific industry? What do new sources of competitive advantage look like in the AI era.
How might it change business models?
Right. How can AI enable entirely new business models that weren't possible before? That strategic lens is critical.
That directly connects AI back to the core business strategy where it needs to be.
Yes. And they need to grasp real-world AI use cases and value drivers. Concrete examples.
Things they can relate to.
Yes, successful AI applications relevant to their business, focusing on quantifying the potential return on investment and strategic impact. It's about seeing the tangible business value AI can create, not just the cool tech.
And data fundamentals are mentioned as crucial. Can't forget the data.
Absolutely. They need a foundational understanding of the importance of data quality, data governance, making sure data is accurate, secure, used responsibly, and the necessary data infrastructure.
Because AI is fueled by data.
Exactly. And understanding the data landscape is critical for any leader involved in AI strategy.
The book also highlights ethical AI and responsible innovation. That seems essential.
Non-negotiable topics for C-suite education. They absolutely need to understand the risks, like algorithmic bias, the importance of fairness, transparency, accountability, and safety in AI systems.
Building trust.
Exactly. Building trust with customers, employees, the public. It requires a top-down commitment to ethical AI principles.
And finally, understanding the AI talent landscape.
Right. Knowing the key roles like data scientists or ML engineers and the challenges of attracting, developing, and retaining that specialized talent. It's a competitive market out there.
So how should these programs be delivered? What formats work?
Well, the book suggests various formats, things like dedicated executive AI academies tailored to their level, or maybe intensive board AI boot camps.
Boot camps for the board.
Yeah, and it even references Gartner research showing the growing expectation for boards to actually have oversight of AI strategy and risks now.
So this isn't just a nice to have, it's becoming part of like fiduciary duty.
Precisely. Other formats could include curated learning resources, maybe providing access to high-quality online courses or relevant industry reports and regular expert briefings, perhaps with internal AI leaders or external thought leaders.
Okay, lots of ways to deliver it.
The key is making it accessible and relevant to them.
And why this level of education matters to you, our listener, is that it's all about building a shared language and a collective understanding of AI's potential and its critical risks. Right there at the highest levels. It ensures that when strategic decisions about AI are made,
they're informed.
Exactly. They're informed, considered, and aligned with the broader business goals rather than being driven by, hype or fear. It's the bedrock of informed AI leadership.
Absolutely. Beyond just formal education, the book suggests establishing executive peer learning circles or internal AI councils.
Okay, learning from each other.
Right. These are meant to be safe, confidential spaces for executives from different functions, marketing, finance, operations, to share their challenges, insights, and explore how AI could be applied within their specific areas.
Like a working group focused specifically on how AI impacts their piece of the puzzle.
Exactly. And an internal AI council, typically composed of key C-suite members and maybe senior technical experts, can also serve as a steering committee for the overall AI strategy,
guiding the ship,
ensuring alignment across the organization and championing AI literacy from the top.
Why this matters. Learning about AI, especially its strategic implications, isn't a passive activity, is it? You can't just read a report.
No, it's collaborative. Leaders need a forum to actively discuss, debate, and frankly, wrestle with these new concepts together, sharing experiences, building that collective strategic understanding.
Makes sense. What else?
Another practical step mentioned is engaging in reverse mentoring and cross-functional exposure.
Reverse mentoring. So junior folks mentoring senior execs.
Exactly. Pairing senior executives with more junior employees who are often digitally native and maybe more AI savvy. It allows the executives to learn directly from their ground-level experience.
Flipping the traditional mentorship model on its head. That's interesting. I like that.
It is. And also creating opportunities for executives to spend time embedded with data science teams, maybe visit innovation labs, or even just spend a day in a part of the business where AI is being actively implemented.
Get their hands dirty, metaphorically speaking.
Kind of. Why this matters. These experiences demystify the technology. They take AI out of the realm of abstract theory and connect it to the real-world challenges and opportunities within their company.
Yeah.
It provides practical, ground-level insight that definitely informs strategic decisions better than just reading about it.
Okay. Another practical idea from the book.
A very practical one, developing a concise, must-know AI lexicon specifically for leaders.
A glossary.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah.
A tailored glossary of essential terms defined in clear, business-oriented language.
So not just listing terms like algorithm, but actually defining them in a way that's immediately relevant to a business leader,
Yeah,
clarifying what bias truly implies for their operations or customer trust.
precisely. Ensuring everyone is speaking the same language when discussing strategic AI initiatives is fundamental. It avoids misunderstandings and misaligned expectations between business and technical teams.
I can see how that would be huge.
Yeah, the book would include terms like algorithm, basically, a set of rules or steps an AI follows, model training, the process of feeding data to an AI to teach it,
Yeah.
bias, systemic unfairness in outputs, API, a way for different software to talk, cloud computing for AI processing, and maybe supervised, unsupervised learning training with labeled versus unlabeled data, just the essentials.
Why this matters, it removes a significant barrier to effective communication, right?
Brilliant.
And builds confidence among leaders in discussing complex AI topics strategically. It ensures that when the CTO talks about, say, model drift or meeting a new API, the CEO actually understands the business implication.
Couldn't agree more. Now, a critical step that embeds AI thinking directly into the strategic process is mandating AI impact assessments for all major strategic initiatives.
Okay, explain that. So before launching a big project or making a significant investment, you have to formally consider the AI angle first.
Exactly. The book suggests requiring teams proposing new initiatives or investments to address key questions as part of their proposal.
Like what?
Like, how could AI enhance this initiative or create new value? What data would be required? And is it available and properly governed? What are the potential AI-related risks, ethical, operational security, and how will they be identified and mitigated? What AI capabilities, talent, tech, data infrastructure would be needed to make it work?
This forces teams to think proactively about AI from the outset, doesn't it? Instead of it being an afterthought, like, oh, could AI help here? Much later.
Yes, it embeds AI thinking into the strategic planning process, ensuring it's considered as a potential enabler or differentiator for the company's most important initiatives.
Why this matters, it prevents AI efforts from being isolated projects, sort of off to the side,
Right, the science experiments.
and ensures they're integrated into the core business transformation efforts, maximizing their potential strategic impact.
Okay, another one. To truly signal the strategic importance of AI readiness, the book recommends integrating AI fluency into leadership development programs and performance metrics.
Hitting them where it counts development and reviews.
Exactly. This is about making AI readiness a recognized and rewarded leadership attribute. It doesn't mean executives need to become technical experts, not at all.
But they need to show commitment.
Yes, demonstrating a commitment to learning about AI and ability to think strategically about its application, and showing success in championing value-creating AI initiatives. That becomes part of what defines a successful leader in the organization.
So it becomes part of how leaders are evaluated and developed, like any other core competency.
Precisely. What gets measured and rewarded tends to get done, right? Including AI fluency in leadership development signals that this is a core competency expected of leaders in the AI era.
Why this matters. It reinforces AI readiness as a critical leadership attribute and motivates leaders to invest their time and energy in building their AI capabilities. Makes it real.
Finally, the book suggests that C-suite leaders should actually visit AI-mature organizations and ecosystems.
Go on field trips.
Sort of. Arranging study tours or visits to companies that are recognized AI leaders maybe in their industry or even other industries. Or visiting vibrant innovation hubs like university research centers or leading AI companies.
Learning directly from those who are further along the journey and seeing how it works in practice.
Yes, why this matters. These visits provide invaluable inspiration, offer practical insights into successful implementation strategies, and really help leaders visualize what good looks like in terms of AI adoption and strategic impact.
Seeing is believing sometimes.
Absolutely. Seeing AI in action in a leading organization can be a powerful motivator and provide concrete ideas to bring back to their own company.
So those are some really concrete steps the book outlines for getting the C-suite themselves ready: education, peer learning, reverse mentoring, lexicon, impact assessments, talent development metrics, and visits.
Yeah, a solid list.
But how does this C-suite leadership actually translate into measurable business results? Talk is cheap, right?
Right. And the book provides a compelling example here with a narrative about CEO Vance at Global Logistics Corp, or GLC. It's presented as an after scenario, demonstrating C-suite ownership in action.
Okay, let's hear about Vance.
This is a great illustration of these principles put into practice. The book describes CEO Vance's personal transformation and thinking. Initially, he saw AI as something technical, maybe for the IT department.
The usual perspective.
The usual, yeah. But through his own learning and engagement, doing the things we just talked about, he developed this profound conviction. AI wasn't just a tool, it was a strategic imperative for GLC's very survival and future growth in a changing market.
Ah, the light bulb moment.
That shift in mindset was the catalyst for everything else.
And what specific decisive actions did Vance take at GLC, according to the book, based on this realization?
Well, the book details several key actions. First, he articulated a truly compelling vision. He didn't just say, we need more AI. That's meaningless. He personally crafted and relentlessly communicated a clear, inspiring vision that directly linked AI to GLC's core mission. Something like becoming the most intelligent and adaptive logistics network, delivering unparalleled value and reliability through data-driven insights and AI-powered operations.
Okay, specific and mission-linked.
And he made sure employees understood how AI would help them and make the company stronger, more resilient.
Connecting AI to the mission and the people is critical for buy-in, isn't it?
Absolutely. Second, he championed AI fluency from the top. He mandated those structured education programs for his entire leadership team.
Walk the talk.
And participated personally, showing it was important. He established that cross-functional AI Leadership Council to guide strategy. And the book specifically notes how the language used in executive meetings started to change, reflecting this new level of fluency and strategic thinking about AI.
Leading by example. That makes a difference.
Huge difference. Third, he prioritized establishing robust governance, including ethics, right from the start, recognizing that scaling AI required trust and control. He personally sponsored the development of a comprehensive AI governance framework and an independent AI ethics committee. They developed clear principles for responsible AI use.
Like what?
Focusing on data privacy, transparency, especially important in areas like workforce planning or road optimization, impacting drivers' fairness, and accountability.
So governance as a foundation for trust and responsible scaling, not an afterthought.
Right. Fourth, he made strategic investment and prioritization decisions. Vance secured significant multi-year investment, but it wasn't just a blank check for AI stuff.
Focused investment.
Very focused on 3 core strategic pillars that directly aligned with the new vision: intelligent operations, customer-centric solutions, and data infrastructure modernization.
Okay, break those down. What specifically did that investment enable within those pillars?
Sure. In intelligent operations, they built an AI platform for dynamic road optimization, the kind that could instantly adjust to traffic, weather, new pickups. Predictive asset maintenance to prevent costly breakdowns before they happened. Intelligent warehouse management systems, automated document processing, real operational stuff.
Making the core business run better.
Exactly. For customer-centric solutions, they deployed AI-powered tools for customers, providing things like highly accurate predictive ETAs, estimated times of arrival, and proactive disruption alerts, things customers value.
Improving the customer experience directly.
And for data infrastructure modernization, this was huge. It meant a heavy investment in a modern cloud platform designed specifically to break down existing data silos.
The dreaded silos.
And ensure the availability of clean, integrated data needed to train and run all these AI models effectively.
Breaking down data silos is such a common and difficult challenge for large organizations.
It is, and addressing it was absolutely critical for GLC's success with AI. Fifth, Vance actively fostered an AI-conscious culture across the entire company.
Not just the tech teams.
No, that's key. He celebrated early AI wins publicly, encouraged cross-functional collaboration through things like AI innovation challenges, and empowered individuals across departments to become AI champions. He made it clear that experimentation and learning from both successes and failures were valued.
Creating a culture where people weren't afraid to try new things with AI, even if they didn't work out perfectly the first time.
Exactly. Now, the book describes the tangible, measurable results of this CEO-led transformation over the subsequent 3 to 5 years. This is where the rubber meets the road.
Okay, what kind of impact did all this have? Did it work?
It worked. The impact was significant and across multiple facets of the business. Operational efficiency soared. The AI-driven route optimization alone led to a 15% reduction in fuel costs.
15%.
And a 20% improvement in on-time delivery rates. The book gives these specific numbers, highlighting the scale of efficiency gains. Predictive maintenance drastically cut unplanned downtime for their fleet. Real money saved.
Those are concrete bottom-line impacts, hard to argue with.
Yes. Customer satisfaction and retention also improved significantly. Those new AI-powered customer tools, like the accurate ETAs and proactive alerts, they led to a marked increase in customer satisfaction scores and a significant reduction in customer churn.
Keeping customers happier.
And they were even able to win back some key clients they had previously lost, specifically because of these new capabilities.
Wow, directly demonstrating value to the customer through AI.
And new revenue streams emerged. By leveraging the vast amounts of data they were now collecting and analyzing with AI, GLC was able to develop and offer new premium services to their clients.
Like what kind of services?
Things like sophisticated supply chain analytics and risk assessment tools, basically monetizing their data and AI capabilities in new ways.
Turning data into a sellable asset. Interesting.
Precisely. Employee engagement increased as well. This is important. Employees across the company became more engaged and motivated as they saw the tangible benefits of AI.
How?
Right, feeling empowered by the new tools and seeing how AI made their jobs easier or more strategic. Morale and retention, particularly within the tech teams who are working on exciting stuff, also saw a significant boost.
So AI wasn't perceived as a threat to jobs necessarily, but as an enhancement to roles.
Correct. In this case, that was the cultural outcome they achieved. And finally, market perception shifted dramatically. GLC was no longer viewed as just a traditional, maybe slightly stodgy logistics company,
Right.
but as an innovator and a leader in intelligent logistics. And this positive market perception was reflected in their stock price and overall market valuation. Investors noticed.
Why this entire GLC example matters to you, our listener. It's such a powerful, concrete case study. It shows that executive leadership and prioritizing these organizational readiness dimensions, they're not theoretical concepts.
Not at all.
They directly drive measurable, significant business outcomes across operations, customer relationships, financial performance, employee engagement, and market position. It makes the idea of AI readiness very real and highlights what's truly at stake.
Absolutely. Stepping back a bit, the book provides a really holistic view of AI readiness by outlining the core dimensions that need to be addressed simultaneously. It's not just about one thing, it's a set of interconnected elements.
Like pillars supporting the structure.
Exactly, forming the bedrock of an AI-ready enterprise.
Dimension 1, which we've touched on a lot through the executive discussion, is strategic alignment.
Exactly. The book places absolute emphasis here, maybe more than anywhere else. AI initiatives must align directly with the overarching business strategy, full stop.
Not just tech for tech's sake.
No. AI should be seen and used explicitly as an enabler of specific strategic objectives, like growing market share, reducing costs, improving customer loyalty, managing risk, not as some standalone technology pursuit. And the book gives a checklist of what an AI-ready enterprise looks like in this dimension.
Like having a C-suite-driven AI vision. We talked about Vance doing that.
Yes. A clear, compelling vision for how AI will create value, articulated and championed by top leadership, and understood across the business. You also need defined AI use cases with clear business impact.
Tied to results.
Tied to measurable outcomes like revenue growth, cost reduction, customer sat scores, risk mitigation. The focus has to be on solving business problems, not just chasing interesting technical challenges.
It's so easy to get caught up in the cool tech and forget the actual business purpose sometimes.
Absolutely. The strategy also needs to be an integrated AI strategy, meaning AI isn't a separate project list sitting over there,
Right.
but woven into corporate planning, departmental strategies, budgeting processes, and clear executive sponsorship and accountability, with defined ownership and responsibility for driving AI adoption and measuring its impact with different functions.
The book also provides a way to think about maturity levels for this dimension, doesn't it? Like a scale.
Yes. As a way to gauge where an organization stands, it moves from, say, exploratory, where there's minimal executive understanding, maybe just isolated experiments,
Dipping a toe in.
to aware discussing some awareness, ad hoc projects, then defined and aligning. A formal vision starts developing, linking to business units, then integrated and strategic. AI is clearly in corporate strategy, initiatives are prioritized, and finally, embedded in core strategy.
Where AI is fundamental.
Right, where AI is fundamental, driving continuous strategic renewal integral to the culture. It's a helpful scale to assess progress.
Why this dimension matters. Strategic alignment is the crucial starting point, isn't it?
Absolutely essential.
Without it, even the most technically brilliant AI projects will remain siloed science projects that fail to drive fundamental business transformation or deliver enterprise-wide value. It's the essential first step towards true readiness.
Dimension 2 is data, which the book calls the absolute foundation. It makes the powerful point that robust data governance is the absolute prerequisite for effective AI governance.
Can't have one without the other.
You simply cannot have trustworthy AI without trustworthy data.
AI is fundamentally fueled by data, as the book puts it. And the classic garbage in, garbage out principle couldn't be more relevant here, could it?
Precisely. The quality and governance of your data directly determine the quality and trustworthiness of your AI. The book details the key aspects of data governance required. Data quality, accuracy, completeness, and timeliness are just non-negotiable. You need data that is clean, reliable, current.
Which is often much harder than it sounds in practice, especially in big companies.
Oh, it is, especially in complex organizations with legacy systems. Huge challenge. Robust security and privacy measures are also critical, especially with evolving regulations like GDPR in Europe or CCPA in California. Protecting sensitive data is paramount for trust and compliance.
Managing data privacy is increasingly complex globally, it seems.
Absolutely. Understanding data provenance and lineage, knowing exactly where data came from and how it has been transformed throughout its life cycle is also vital, particularly for debugging models or ensuring compliance down the road.
Knowing its history.
Yes, and clearly defined ownership, access rights, usage policies, and data retention schedules ensure data is used appropriately, securely, and not kept longer than necessary.
Why this dimension matters. AI models are completely dependent on the data they train on and operate with, full stop.
Totally reliant.
Poor data leads to inaccurate, unreliable, biased, or even harmful AI outputs. Investing in strong data governance is not some bureaucratic chore. It is a strategic investment in the trustworthiness, reliability, and effectiveness of your AI systems.
Well said. It's the bedrock upon which all successful AI is built.
Dimension 3 is technology the enablers. The book highlights that a certain level of digital maturity is essential. It describes it as the fertile ground for AI to flourish.
Right.
Companies held back by fragmented legacy systems, maybe a lack of API-first thinking, or resistance to cloud adoption, will find it much harder to implement and scale AI effectively. AI thrives in agile, modern IT environments.
It's like trying to build a high-speed train network on ancient, crumbling railway tracks. The foundation just isn't there.
That's a good analogy. And the book introduces platform thinking as an architectural approach particularly conducive to scaling AI across the enterprise. Tell us about that.
Yes, this is a crucial shift in mindset, really. It means moving away from building individual, isolated AI solutions for specific problems
Oh, wow.
to creating reusable platforms or digital engines that can power multiple AI applications across the business.
So building components that can be shared and leveraged across different business units or functions.
Exactly. It involves identifying common capabilities needed for many AI initiatives, things like standardized data ingestion pipelines, robust infrastructure for machine learning operations, MLOps, which is basically managing the AI lifecycle from development to deployment and monitoring, or common AI services like text analysis or image recognition that different teams can easily access and use.
That sounds like a much more efficient and scalable approach than everyone reinventing the wheel.
It absolutely is. It's about building reusable components and services once, like having a centralized feature store, providing standardized data features for various models to use.
Right.
Or a common natural language processing, NLP service that customer service, marketing, and HR can all tap into for different applications. The book uses these specific examples to illustrate the point.
That avoids a lot of duplicated effort and inconsistency, I imagine.
It does. Platform thinking also includes designing for scalability and extensibility from the ground up, ensuring the technology can handle increased data volume and new AI applications as they come online.
Future-proofing.
Kind of. And, importantly, promoting self-service and democratization, empowering analysts or maybe citizen data scientists within the business units to leverage AI tools and data, but with appropriate guardrails and governance in place, of course.
Making AI tools accessible to more people beyond the core data science team, but safely.
Yes, using APIs, application programming interfaces, and microservices as the connective tissue, the sort of glue that allows these components and platforms to communicate flexibly and leveraging cloud-native design principles for agility, scalability, resilience, and access to specialized AI and MLOps tools often provided by cloud vendors.
Why this dimension matters. The right technology architecture isn't just about having powerful hardware or fancy software. It's about creating an environment where AI can be built, deployed, managed, and scaled effectively and efficiently across the entire enterprise.
Right. Platform thinking enables reusability, it accelerates innovation, reduces technical debt over time, and ultimately makes AI efforts sustainable at scale. It's how you move beyond pilots.
Okay, dimension 4 is talent and culture. The book makes a strong case that while technology is necessary, obviously,
Yep.
people and culture are equally, if not more, important for AI success.
Couldn't agree more. Technology alone isn't enough. The human side of the equation is absolutely critical.
So what does this dimension encompass?
Several key components. First, accessing specialized AI talent. Yes, you need the data scientists, machine learning engineers, MLOps specialists. This often requires a mix of external hiring, serious upskilling of existing employees, and maybe strategic partnerships. But it's not just about those deep experts.
It's also about AI fluency across the broader organization, right? We keep coming back to that.
Yes, building a foundational understanding of AI beyond just the technical teams. This allows for much better collaboration between business and technical functions and helps employees across the company identify potential use cases for AI in their daily work.
Spotting opportunities.
Exactly. This loops back to the executive education we discussed, but it applies to the wider workforce too. The book also highlights the crucial role of AI translators, or business liaisons.
Ah, the bridge builder.
Yes. Individuals who can bridge the gap between technical AI teams and business units, translating business needs into technical requirements and AI insights back into actionable business strategies.
They speak both languages, essentially, and are vital for connecting AI to real-world problems. Yeah.
Exactly. Super important role. This dimension also requires cultivating a culture of data-driven decision-making throughout the organization.
Easier said than done sometimes.
Often. It means valuing data and evidence-based approaches, being comfortable challenging intuition with AI-derived insights, and making decisions based on analysis rather than just, gut feel or tradition.
Shifting from a hip PO culture, the highest paid person's opinion, to one driven by data and insights.
Precisely. It also requires fostering agility and experimentation, embracing agile methodologies, being willing to test ideas quickly, learning from both successes and failures rapidly, and adapting based on results. This stands in stark contrast to rigid, hierarchical, or overly risk-averse cultures that tend to stifle AI innovation.
Need to be willing to try things.
And finally, strong change management capabilities are essential. Addressing employee fears or resistance, communicating the benefits of AI clearly, and helping employees adapt to new roles that are augmented, not necessarily replaced, by AI.
Why this dimension matters. AI is a powerful tool, no doubt, but its ultimate success and impact depend entirely on the people who lead it, build it, use it, and integrate it into the organization's fundamental ways of working, thinking, and interacting.
Right. Culture can be AI's biggest accelerator or its most significant roadblock. Building the right skills and fostering an AI-ready culture is absolutely paramount.
Okay, the final pillar, dimension 5, is governance, the crucial framework for building trust and control.
Yes, and the book reiterates that comprehensive AI governance is multifaceted and absolutely critical. It extends far beyond just basic compliance requirements.
We talked about data governance as foundational. The book places it here within the broader scope of AI governance, correct, as part of it?
Yes, data governance is the starting point and remains vital within the overall governance picture. But AI governance encompasses much more. It includes model governance and model risk management.
What does that involve?
Managing the entire life cycle of AI models, from development and validation through deployment, continuous monitoring for performance degradation or drift over time. Models don't stay static. And using robust model ops practices to manage potentially hundreds or thousands of models at scale.
Ensuring the AI stays accurate, reliable, and performs as expected after deployment, and fixing it if it doesn't.
Exactly. And ethical AI principles and practical guidelines are absolutely central to governance. This involves formally adopting and championing ethical principles like fairness, accountability, transparency, human oversight, security, and safety in all AI applications.
Not just paying lip service.
No. Crucially, it means translating these high-level principles into actionable guidelines, review processes, and clear standards for development and deployment teams, making it real.
Making ethical considerations a mandatory part of the AI lifecycle, not optional.
Absolutely. Comprehensive AI risk management is also key. This means actively identifying, assessing, and mitigating a wide spectrum of AI-specific risks.
Such as?
Things like algorithmic bias, model drift, as we mentioned, security vulnerabilities like adversarial attacks or data poisoning where bad actors try to mess with the model.
Nasty stuff.
Yeah. Challenges with interpreting complex model outputs, the black box problem, compliance failures with regulations, and potential reputational damage from AI errors or misuse. These risks need to be integrated into the organization's broader enterprise risk management system.
Thinking proactively about what could go wrong with AI and planning for it.
And navigating the evolving regulatory and legal landscape is critical. Staying constantly abreast of new developments like the EU AI Act or sector-specific regulations is essential to ensure ongoing compliance and anticipate future requirements.
That's a constantly moving target that requires dedicated attention, isn't it?
It really is. Finally, clear roles, responsibilities, and oversight structures are vital for effective governance. Establishing clarity on who is responsible for different aspects of AI development, deployment, monitoring.
Who owns what?
Exactly. This can involve creating dedicated AI ethics boards or review councils, potentially appointing a chief AI ethics officer role, and ensuring there is clear board-level oversight of AI risks and strategy, which, as Gartner notes and we mentioned, is becoming an increasing expectation.
Why this dimension matters. Robust governance is not just a compliance checkbox or some defensive measure. It builds essential trust.
Absolutely crucial.
With employees who interact with AI, with customers who are impacted by AI decisions, and with regulators and the public, it effectively manages the critical risks associated with AI, ensures compliance, and is absolutely essential for scaling AI safely, responsibly, and sustainably across the entire enterprise.
Well put. Without trust enabled by strong governance, scaling AI beyond narrow use cases becomes incredibly difficult, maybe even impossible.
Okay, so understanding these 5 dimensions, strategic alignment, data, technology, talent, and culture, and governance, provides a really comprehensive framework for assessing your organization's readiness and identifying areas that need attention.
It really does. But as we mentioned, this deep dive only scratches the surface of the practical insights and frameworks available on this topic in the book, Intelligent Advantage.
Yeah, there's a lot more detail in there.
The book delves much deeper into each of these dimensions, providing concrete assessment criteria, exploring common challenges in implementation, offering detailed examples, and presenting structured approaches for building capability in each area. It's very practical.
If you're finding this discussion valuable and you're serious about moving your organization from being just AI aware to truly AI ready,
Which is the goal?
and building that intelligent advantage the book describes, we highly recommend picking up a copy.
It's a truly invaluable resource for any leader navigating the complexities of AI transformation today.
Absolutely. If you're ready to take the next step in your AI journey and gain a competitive edge, we highly recommend getting the book Intelligent Advantage by Ryan Beckett. You can find it easily on Amazon just by searching for the title Intelligent Advantage.
Yep, easy to find.
Picking up the book is a fantastic way to continue this deep dive on your own and put these concepts into action in your own context.
Definitely worth it. Okay, moving on. The book also elaborates on how this state of AI readiness enables fundamental transformation across core business functions, detailing specific use cases and the profound shifts they represent.
Right, let's get into some examples, starting with operational efficiency. How does AI enable organizations to go beyond traditional methods like Lean or Six Sigma? What's different?
Well, the book contrasts these traditional methods, which are often human-driven, rely on process maps, focus on incremental, often localized improvement, with what it calls intelligent autonomy, powered by AI.
Intelligent autonomy, okay.
This involves a fundamental shift from reactive problem solving to predictive and even prescriptive capabilities in operations.
So instead of just identifying bottlenecks or inefficiencies after they happen, AI can predict them and suggest or even automate solutions before they impact operations.
Exactly. AI enables continuous, automated optimization, often in real time, making maybe thousands of micro-adjustments, 247 across complex processes that humans could never manage. It shifts the focus from localized optimization within a single step or department
Like optimizing one machine.
to achieving system-wide excellence and optimization across entire value chains or networks, looking at the bigger picture.
And it can handle a level of complexity and scale that humans simply cannot manage alone, the sheer number of variables.
Yes. Think about dynamic route optimization in logistics, constantly recalculating based on everything. Predicting equipment failures in manufacturing with predictive maintenance. Optimizing energy consumption in smart buildings second by second. It represents a move from fixed rule-based processes to adaptive learning systems that continuously improve based on new data.
Learning on the job.
And from human-limited scale to machine-powered scale that can handle immense volumes of data and variables simultaneously. It's a step change.
AI enabling operations to be not just efficient, but intelligently and adaptively efficient at scale. That's powerful.
Absolutely. Next, consider supply chain and logistics. The book describes AI's transformative role here, moving supply chains from being reactive and fragmented, which many still are,
Very much so.
to becoming proactive, integrated, and intelligent ecosystems.
AI-driven demand forecasting is a prime example mentioned in the book. How does AI revolutionize this compared to traditional forecasting methods?
Well, traditional forecasting often relies heavily on historical sales data and relatively simple statistical models. AI-driven forecasting, as described in the book, leverages a vast, diverse array of data sources far, far beyond just historical sales figures.
Okay, what kind of diverse data sources does the book mention that AI can actually incorporate for forecasting? This is fascinating.
It includes internal data, of course, promotional data, product attributes, granular customer behavior data, but crucially, it integrates a wealth of external factors, things like macroeconomic indicators like GDP growth or inflation predictions, competitor actions, maybe product launches, pricing changes, potentially scraped from public websites. Weather forecasts, obviously relevant for seasonal goods or logistics. Local events and calendar effects, holidays, school schedules, major local concerts or sporting events. Social trends and influencer activity, analyzing sentiment or emerging trends on social media. Geospatial data to understand local market dynamics. And even upstream supply chain signals like supplier lead times or port congestion data.
That's an incredible amount of information, much of it unstructured, that AI can analyze to find complex patterns humans would just miss.
And AI can find nonlinear, subtle patterns and correlations in all of this messy data that traditional models or human analysts would likely overlook. This leads to significantly improved accuracy, much better granularity, maybe forecasting at a store or even individual product level, and responsiveness, updating forecasts in near real time as conditions change.
And the benefits cascade throughout the entire supply chain, the book says.
Yes, it lists several specific tangible benefits resulting from more accurate AI forecasting.
Like what?
Like reduced stockouts and lost sales, because supply aligns better with actual demand. Minimized excess inventory and obsolescence, which frees up working capital and reduces waste. Improved production scheduling and resource allocation, because manufacturing knows what's needed when more reliably. Enhanced financial planning and budgeting due to more reliable revenue forecasts. Greater agility and responsiveness, because forecasts can be updated rapidly. And even more effective new product introductions by using data from similar product launches or early market signals.
That's a huge list. Measurable impact across the entire chain, from planning right through to delivery.
The book also mentions the shift from basic robotic process automation, RPA, the simple bots,
Green scraping, etc.
to intelligent process automation, IPA, in operational workflows. This is where simple bots following rigid rules evolve into AI-powered virtual assistants or processes that can handle complex, non-standard situations, synthesize information from multiple sources, and even detect things like customer sentiment in text.
Smarter bots.
Right. It gives the example of customer service interactions moving from simple chatbot scripts that easily break to AI handling more complex queries by understanding nuance and context, maybe summarizing a long conversation for a human agent.
So automation gets smarter and more capable of handling variation and complexity, not just the simple repetitive stuff.
Precisely. Now, looking at innovation, the book discusses how AI can break down traditional friction points in the innovation process. Things like human cognitive biases that limit our thinking, limitations in processing vast amounts of data for insights, and the sheer cost and time required for physical testing and iteration.
Moving innovation beyond just incremental improvements to more disruptive possibilities, is that the idea?
Yes, AI enables capabilities like generative design, which is fascinating. AI acts as a co-creator alongside human designers and engineers. You input design requirements, constraints, testing criteria, goals, and AI algorithms generate a wide range of potential designs or solutions, often things humans wouldn't have thought of.
That's a fascinating concept. AI not just analyzing data, but creatively generating possibilities.
And intelligent R&D, where AI can accelerate scientific discovery and engineering simulations dramatically. AI can analyze vast material databases to suggest novel candidates with desired properties, or run complex fluid dynamics simulations much faster than traditional methods. AI is moving beyond just analysis to being an active, creative, and engineering partner in the innovation process itself.
Wow.
The book also highlights AI's role as a catalyst for ecosystem innovation.
How does AI foster innovation across an ecosystem of partners, not just within one company?
By enabling deeper data sharing and collaborative processes securely and with governance, of course. The book gives examples like enhanced supply chain visibility and resilience achieved by analyzing data from myriad partners across the network, shippers, suppliers, ports, collaborative product development and design using shared digital twin environments powered by AI.
Working together digitally.
And personalized customer experiences achieved through partner integration. It gives a travel example where AI combines data from airlines, hotels, and local activity providers to create a seamless, personalized journey itinerary for a customer.
Weaving together services from different companies, orchestrated by AI, to create a new integrated customer offering.
Exactly. And leveraging shared data platforms and insight generation where partners might contribute anonymized or aggregated data to an AI platform to derive collective insights that benefit the whole ecosystem. Think retailers collaborating via AI to identify emerging consumer preferences faster.
Co-opetition almost.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Crucially, though, the book reemphasizes the need to embed ethical oversight and governance directly into these innovation programs from the very beginning, building in ethical guardrails, conducting impact assessments for new AI products, establishing cross-functional review boards, ensuring transparency in how AI was used in development, embedding accountability.
Making sure innovation happens responsibly and ethically, especially when collaborating.
Precisely. Now, in customer experience, the book emphasizes AI's power to enable hyper-personalization and prediction at scale. The foundation for this is AI's ability to create a truly 360-degree view of the customer by integrating and analyzing a vast range of diverse data sources.
Okay, what kind of data sources does the book mention for building this comprehensive customer view? Goes beyond just CRM data, I assume.
Oh, way beyond. It includes traditional structured data from CRM systems, ERP systems, transactional databases, yes, but it also incorporates a wealth of unstructured and behavioral data. Website click streams, content consumption patterns, data from call logs, chat logs, emails, analyzing the text for sentiment and topics, public social media posts and sentiment analysis, IoT data from connected products, if applicable, and even relevant third-party data like demographics, purchasing patterns, or market trends.
Combining all these disparate signals paints a much richer, more dynamic picture of each individual customer.
It allows AI to uncover latent needs, an intent understanding what a customer needs or is trying to do, even if they haven't explicitly stated it.
How does it do that?
The book gives examples like using NLP on customer feedback, reviews, or call transcripts to find unvoiced problems or emerging needs, mentioning sophisticated techniques like NLP topic modeling to find themes. It also involves analyzing browsing patterns, search history, or product comparisons online to infer purchase intent.
So, understanding the customer better than they might understand themselves in that specific moment or interaction.
And understanding context and nuance, using sentiment analysis to gauge a customer's frustration level from their language, piecing together interactions across multiple touchpoints, website, app, call center, to understand the full journey, and correlating behavior with external factors like location or time of day. This means fewer frustrating experiences where a customer has to repeat themselves over and over.
We've all been there.
Exactly. The book highlights that these customer profiles become dynamic and evolving. They aren't static snapshots created once a year, but living profiles that continuously learn and refine in real time as new data comes in. It uses the example of how a major life event, like having a baby, could drastically shift a customer's interests and needs, which AI can quickly detect from their behavior.
That enables much more relevant and timely interactions, presumably.
And AI enables real-time modeling and adaptation. Things like dynamic personalization on websites based on current browsing behavior, contextual assistance like proactively offering help via chat if AI detects a customer is struggling with an online form or browsing support articles for a long time.
Intervening, helpfully.
Or guiding them through a complex product selection process based on their real-time actions and inferred needs. The book gives these specific examples of real-time adaptation.
Responding to the customer's actions and state of mind in the moment at scale.
Yes. And predictive customer analytics, like churn prediction, The book lists the kinds of data inputs AI uses for this: usage patterns, frequency, recency, depth of use, transactional data, purchase history, value, service interactions, number of support tickets, call frequency, demographics, contractual data, marketing engagement levels, and even product-specific usage data.
A multitude of signals, often subtle, that might indicate a customer is at risk of leaving.
And customer lifetime value, CLV, prediction, enabling companies to identify and prioritize high-value customers or those with high potential value, and tailor service accordingly. The book gives the SaaS company example, using AI to predict CLV and customize account management strategies for different customer tiers.
Focusing resources effectively.
AI also helps leverage micro moments, those brief moments of intent, when a customer reaches for their phone or computer with hyper-targeted campaigns, relevant offers, or even dynamic pricing based on that specific context and inferred need.
Personalization and prediction happening continuously across potentially millions of customers. That's the power.
Shifting gears to finance. The book describes a profound evolution of the CFO role in an AI-ready enterprise. It's no longer just about historical reporting and accounting. The CFO evolves to become an AI-augmented CFO, a true strategic partner enabled and amplified by AI.
Okay, what are the key shifts in the CFO's responsibilities and capabilities, according to the book? How does AI change that role?
They shift from being primarily a historical reporter to a predictive strategist, using AI for advanced forecasting, scenario modeling, probabilistic planning to illuminate what could happen under various conditions, rather than just reporting what happened last quarter.
More forward-looking.
Much more. They move from being a cost controller to a value architect, using AI to gain deep insights into the real drivers of profit, granular cost structures, and optimal capital allocation across the entire business. Where should the next dollar be invested for maximum return?
Strategic resource allocation.
They evolve from a compliance overseer to a risk navigator, leveraging AI for proactive risk identification and management across financial, operational, and even reputational risks, integrating these insights into the broader enterprise risk management system.
Expanding their strategic scope significantly across the organization. It sounds like a much bigger job.
It is, and more strategic. They also transform from being a data gatekeeper hoarding financial data to an insights enabler, championing data democratization with governance, providing actionable insights from financial data to business units, helping others understand and use financial data effectively.
Empowering others.
From a technology consumer, just using finance software, they become a digital transformation champion within the finance function and often across the business. From a traditional talent manager, they become an architect of the future finance workforce, focusing on upskilling their team in data science, AI literacy, analytical capabilities, preparing finance for the future.
Building new skills.
And finally, from simply reporting historical numbers to the board, they become a strategic board advisor, providing deeper insights, dynamic scenario analysis, and data-driven strategic recommendations for board-level oversight and decision-making.
Why this matters? The CFO's role is absolutely pivotal in the AI transformation, isn't it?
Hugely. They control investment decisions, measure value creation, manage financial and operational risks. An AI-augmented CFO is essential for making the right strategic investments in AI, tracking their ROI effectively, and ensuring the financial health and resilience of the intelligent enterprise. They hold the purse strings and measure the results.
Okay, and finally, revisiting talent in HR. The book frames AI as a powerful catalyst enabling HR to shift from being primarily a transactional, administrative function,
Which is often how it's perceived.
to a strategic partner focused on building the workforce of the future.
How does AI enable this shift for HR? What changes?
Well, partly by automating many of the routine administrative tasks that currently consume a lot of HR's time, things like processing paperwork, managing basic employee inquiries via chatbots, or scheduling interviews more efficiently. This frees up HR professionals to focus on higher-value strategic work,
Like what?
like strategic workforce planning, talent management and development, organizational design, culture cultivation, change management, and providing data-driven counsel to business leaders on people issues. So AI frees up human HR expertise for more impactful activities that require human judgment and empathy.
Exactly. And perhaps counterintuitively, the book explains how AI can actually enable more people-centric cultures.
How so?
It provides data-driven insights that allow HR to create more personalized employee experiences, like tailored training recommendations, or even suggesting relevant benefits packages based on employee profiles. AI can help support fairer decisions by identifying and mitigating potential biases in hiring, promotion, or compensation processes if designed and monitored carefully.
Using data for fairness.
It can empower employees with self-service tools and insights, enhance communication pathways, and even help identify potential issues like employee burnout or disengagement early on through analyzing anonymized aggregate data, allowing for proactive well-being initiatives. The book provides these specific examples of using AI for employee well-being.
Using data and AI to understand and support employees better, treating them as individuals, not just headcount.
Precisely. AI is also a catalyst for smart career pathing and leadership development. It can suggest intelligent career paths based on employee skills, aspirations, and company needs. Help identify high-potential talent earlier and perhaps more objectively. Personalize leadership development programs, improve succession planning with data, and even facilitate AI-driven mentorship matching based on skills and goals.
Matching people effectively.
Right. The book mentions McKinsey research highlighting workforce transformation as a key area where AI provides significant value.
So AI helps organizations not just manage their current workforce, but strategically build the talent they need for the future and create a more engaging, personalized employee experience along the way.
That's the potential, yes. Now, let's touch on another crucial concept from the book, building algorithmic advantage and navigating the associated risks. This is really about competitive differentiation.
Yep.
The book introduces algorithmic advantage as a new, potent source of durable competitive advantage in the AI era, going beyond traditional assets like physical capital or market share or brand.
It's not just about having AI, but having superior AI fueled by unique defensible data, right? That's the core idea.
Exactly. It's about leveraging proprietary algorithms fueled by unique, high-quality data to make better predictions, automate decisions more effectively, and deliver more personalized and valuable experiences to customers or employees than your competitors can. And the book describes a powerful feedback loop that drives this advantage.
The flywheel effect. What does that feedback loop look like, according to the book?
It's a cycle that reinforces itself, creating a widening gap. Unique or high-quality data serves as the fuel. This enables superior algorithmic refinement. Your models get better because they are trained on better or more data, or simply iterated faster.
Better models.
Better models lead to improved user experience, more accurate predictions, better personalization, more seamless automation. This, in turn, drives increased engagement or acquisition of users or customers. People prefer the better service.
Naturally.
And crucially, that increased activity generates more data, which feeds right back into the loop, allowing for further algorithmic refinement. It speeds up.
A virtuous cycle where the more your AI is used, the smarter it gets, which attracts more users, generating more data, making it even smarter.
Wow. Precisely. This creates profound strategic implications. Intellectual property is reimagined. Durable advantage isn't just in static patents anymore, but in the dynamic combination of proprietary models, unique datasets, continuous feedback loops, and agile processes for rapid iteration.
The ability to learn and adapt faster becomes the ultimate competitive edge, maybe.
Yes, that's a key takeaway. The strategic focus shifts from optimizing fixed assets to building dynamic learning capabilities that can adapt and improve faster than competitors. The book also discusses winner-takes-most dynamics.
Because of this flywheel.
Exactly. Especially driven by these data network, affects the leader's advantage compounds because their superior AI attracts more users, giving them more data to make their AI even better, making it incredibly hard for others to catch up. And it highlights the need for new metrics for competitive assessment and valuation in the AI era.
What kind of new metrics?
Focusing on things like data quality and uniqueness, algorithm accuracy and learning speed, the level of personalization achieved, the speed of the feedback loop itself, rather than just traditional financial or market share metrics, which might lag behind.
These are the new indicators of market leadership and future potential in the AI-driven economy.
The book also briefly touches on the operational aspects required to build this advantage, like the critical need for efficient labeling pipelines for training data. This is often overlooked, but crucial.
Getting the data ready for the AI?
Managing the complex, often costly process of annotating data accurately, frequently involving humans in the loop, maybe using techniques like active learning or weak supervision to be more efficient, and potentially generating synthetic data to augment real data. It acknowledges these operational challenges are significant, but absolutely necessary to build the data foundation for algorithmic advantage.
Getting the raw data ready for the AI to learn from effectively is a huge task.
Huge. And finally, the book touches upon the critical need to navigate the risks associated with deploying AI in a competitive, interconnected environment, particularly highlighting adversarial learning and model manipulation risks.
Like intentional attacks on AI systems,
Right.
people trying to break it.
Yes, exactly. This includes data poisoning, where malicious actors intentionally corrupt training data to degrade model performance or maybe introduce hidden vulnerabilities or biases. Model evasion and inversion. Evasion is where attackers craft specific inputs designed to fool a deployed model into making incorrect predictions, like tricking an image recognition system. Inversion is where they try to reconstruct sensitive information about the training data by probing the model. And there's also the risk of competitors or malicious actors trying to steal proprietary models or gain insights into their inner workings.
These are entirely new forms of security risks that require new forms of defense and vigilance. It's not just traditional cybersecurity anymore.
Precisely. Which brings us back again to the crucial role of the leader, specifically the concept explored in the book of the AI-augmented executive. AI isn't just transforming the business, it's transforming the leader's job itself, amplifying their capabilities.
AI doesn't replace executive judgment, it enhances it. That seems to be the recurring theme.
Yes. The book discusses how AI enables advanced executive decision support and scenario exploration. It provides concrete examples of how leaders can use AI to make better, faster, more informed decisions in complex, uncertain situations.
What are some of those examples from the book? How can AI help a CEO make a tough call?
Using AI for global supply chain resilience, simulating disruptions like a major port closure, a key supplier's factory burning down, or a sudden geopolitical event, and evaluating the potential impact and the effectiveness of different contingency plans before it happens. Using AI for strategic market entry and product portfolio optimization, modeling the potential outcomes of different market entry strategies or complex product configurations under various competitive or economic conditions.
Testing strategies virtually.
Or using AI for long-range financial planning and capital allocation, generating probabilistic forecasts, not just single-point estimates, and stress testing financial strategies against a wide range of potential future scenarios like shifts in interest rates, commodity prices, or the potential financial impact of achieving sustainability targets.
So, using AI to explore a much wider range of potential futures and understand the potential consequences of strategic choices before committing resources.
Right. The book also mentions how this enhances strategic agility, echoing insights from firms like McKinsey. However, a critical point raised is the need for leaders to actively mitigate automation bias.
What's that?
The tendency to over-rely on or blindly trust AI outputs without critical evaluation just because the computer said so. The key is active, critical engagement and staying in the loop or on the loop, not just accepting the answer.
So how does the book suggest leaders actively challenge potential bias or flaws in AI recommendations? How do they stay critical?
They must demand transparency and explainability, often called XAI, from their technical teams, trying to understand how the AI reached a specific recommendation or prediction, not just accepting the output. They need to cultivate healthy skepticism, questioning the underlying assumptions the AI is based on, understanding its limitations, being aware that models can be wrong or biased.
Question the machine.
They should triangulate insights, cross-referencing AI recommendations with their own human expertise, insights from their team, and other sources of data or information. Don't rely on just one source. And they must maintain human oversight, especially for high-stakes or sensitive decisions, where the final judgment and accountability must ultimately rest with humans.
And understanding the difference between human in the loop and human on the loop is important here too.
Yes, the book clarifies these concepts well. Human in the loop means a human must review and approve each AI-generated decision or recommendation before it's acted upon, typically used for high-risk scenarios. Human on the loop means the AI operates autonomously within defined parameters, but a human monitors its overall performance and can intervene if necessary, more suitable for high-volume, lower-risk tasks. The choice depends heavily on the context and the potential impact of errors.
Choosing the right level of oversight.
And the book, again, reemphasizes the importance of leaders investing in AI fluency and continuous learning to empower them to be discerning users of these powerful AI tools.
It's a continuous learning journey for executives to stay effective in this new world.
And AI significantly enhances executive foresight, the ability to anticipate potential futures, not just predict outcomes based on extrapolating past data, seeing around corners potentially.
How does AI contribute to this kind of strategic foresight? What techniques does it enable?
Through advanced horizon scanning, where AI automates the monitoring of vast, diverse data sources for early indicators or weak signals of future trends or disruptions. The book lists specific sources like patent filings, venture capital investments across sectors, global news and media in multiple languages, social media discussions, academic research papers, and emerging regulatory proposals worldwide.
Sifting through that immense amount of global information to spot emerging trends or threats that humans might easily miss in the noise.
Exactly. And enhancing scenario narratives and planning AI can help generate a wider range of plausible future scenarios than humans might conceive on their own, quantify the potential impacts of those scenarios more rigorously, and stress test current strategies against them. It mentions leveraging external scenario frameworks, like those from Gartner, potentially enhanced by AI.
Exploring more possible futures.
AI also helps with weak signal mapping and analysis, identifying subtle patterns, deviations, or connections between seemingly unrelated data points across different domains that might indicate a nascent trend or disruption that could become significant later on, connecting the dots that aren't obviously connected.
Why this matters. AI doesn't replace executive judgment or intuition, let's be clear, but it powerfully augments it. It provides richer, faster, and more comprehensive insights, enabling leaders to navigate increasing complexity and uncertainty with greater confidence and foresight.
But leaders need to be fluent enough in AI to leverage these foresight tools effectively and, importantly, critically, not just take the output as gospel.
Absolutely. Looking ahead, the book briefly touches on the future landscape, highlighting the convergence of AI with other transformative technologies as a driver of exponential innovation.
Yeah, AI doesn't exist in a vacuum.
Like the combination of AI and IoT, the Internet of Things.
Yes, AIoT, the convergence of AI and the Internet of Things. This leads to things like intelligent sensing devices that don't just collect data but analyze it locally at the edge, automated decision-making in physical environments based on sensor data, enhanced efficiency in operations through real-time monitoring and control, and hyper-personalization extending into the physical world, not just online.
Smarter devices everywhere.
Also discussed is the long-term potential synergy between AI and quantum computing. This is a bit further out, obvious.
Still speculative, largely.
But quantum computing holds the potential to dramatically accelerate certain complex AI training processes, solve massive optimization problems currently intractable for classical computers, like in logistics or material science, enable entirely new types of AI algorithms, and accelerate scientific discovery in areas like material science or drug discovery.
Potentially game-changing breakthroughs down the line if the quantum hurdles are overcome.
And the convergence of AI with Web3 technologies like blockchain, potentially offering new avenues for enhancing trust, enabling transparent governance of AI systems, and maybe facilitating decentralized AI models and data sharing.
These convergences will undoubtedly amplify AI's impact and complexity in the coming years.
Absolutely. The book also discusses the inevitability of evolving regulatory futures and ethical shifts as AI becomes more pervasive and powerful across society. This isn't static.
Governments and international bodies are actively working on frameworks. We see headlines every day.
Yes, mentioning the EU AI Act as a key example of evolving, risk-based regulatory frameworks emerging globally. The book then details practical steps for C-suite leadership regarding navigating this complex and shifting ethical and regulatory landscape.
What does the book suggest leaders should do beyond just basic compliance? How can they be proactive?
Much beyond compliance. Active engagement in policy and standard setting, contributing their organization's expertise and perspective to help shape sensible regulations and industry standards, rather than just reacting to them. Developing robust and agile internal AI governance that goes beyond minimum compliance requirements.
Setting a higher bar internally.
Deeply embedding ethical considerations into the AI lifecycle, clearly defining roles and responsibilities, and establishing effective risk assessment processes, re-emphasizing the importance of an internal AI ethics board or similar structure. Championing a culture of responsible AI throughout the organization, driven by a clear tone from the top, comprehensive training, fostering open discussion about ethical dilemmas, and maybe even incentivizing ethical behavior related to AI.
Making ethical considerations a part of the company's DNA, not just a policy document.
Yes. Investing in holistic AI fluency that includes a strong understanding of ethical implications alongside the technical aspects, linking back to the earlier point on comprehensive education. Engaging in strategic scenario planning specifically around potential regulatory futures and developing contingency plans. How would we operate if Regulation X comes into force?
Anticipating changes.
And fundamentally, building trust as a strategic asset by consistently demonstrating a clear, measurable commitment to ethical and responsible AI practices to customers, employees, regulators, and the public. Trust becomes a competitive differentiator.
Why this matters. Navigating the evolving ethical and regulatory landscape is not just about avoiding fines or legal trouble anymore. It is crucial for maintaining brand reputation, building trust capital with all stakeholders, and ensuring the long-term sustainability and public acceptance of AI initiatives in an increasingly AI-driven world.
Leaders who ignore this aspect of AI readiness do so at their significant peril. It's becoming table stakes.
So, to summarize this deep dive, drawing heavily from the book Intelligent Advantage, becoming an AI-ready enterprise is clearly a complex, multidimensional journey. It requires transformation across the entire organization.
It really necessitates achieving that strategic alignment we talk so much about, building strong data and technology foundations, fundamentally focusing on developing talent and fostering an AI-conscious culture, establishing robust and agile governance structures, and most importantly, having proactive, engaged, and AI-fluent executive leadership driving the change relentlessly.
And the core hook from the book holds true and really guides all of this. Readiness is not about infrastructure, it's about alignment.
Exactly.
The human, cultural, and strategic elements, the alignment of people, processes, and strategy enabled by technology and data are paramount. Infrastructure follows strategy.
This deep dive has hopefully given you a comprehensive overview of these critical dimensions and the practical steps leaders can take, drawing directly from the rich insights and frameworks presented in the book.
It provides a solid roadmap, I think, for any organization looking to navigate this transformative era successfully and build that intelligent advantage.
As we wrap up, here's a final provocative thought for you, our listener, to consider, maybe reflect on after this. Based on these 5 dimensions of AI readiness, we discussed strategic alignment, data, technology, talent culture, or governance. Which one feels like the most significant challenge or bottleneck for your organization right now? Where's the biggest gap?
Good question.
And thinking about the practical steps for executive readiness we discussed from the book, what single concrete step could you or your leadership team take, perhaps even next week, to start addressing that specific dimension and begin moving the needle on your path to AI readiness? Just one step.
That one practical step taken deliberately and consistently can often be the catalyst for much larger progress down the line. It's about starting somewhere.
Absolutely. To explore these concepts in much greater depth, gain access to detailed frameworks for assessment, and discover many more practical insights and examples on building an intelligent advantage, we highly, highly recommend picking up a copy of the book Intelligent Advantage by Ryan Beckett.
It is truly an invaluable resource for any leader serious about harnessing the power of AI for strategic transformation. We've only scratched the surface here.
You can find it easily. Search for it by title on Amazon, Intelligent Advantage. Picking up the book is a fantastic way to continue this deep dive on your own and equip yourself with the knowledge and frameworks you need for your journey.
Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into becoming an AI-ready enterprise.
And thank you for tuning in to the Leading with AI podcast.